All right, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Green Squad Chats. Today, we're going to talk about the issue of health. How do you take care of your body and your mind the best for optimum performance in your business? And really, should business be your focus as you consider health, or is it just more impactful for your entire life, not just business? Let's dive in.
Yeah, this topic actually, I love it because I believe you got to start with yourself, man. You know, in order to impact the teams that you're on, your teammates, grow your business, whatever it is, personal life, business, doesn't matter. You got to start with yourself. You're the foundation. And if your health goes, if your mind goes, right, you're not growing, you're not learning, then everything else is going to feel that negative effect. I don't know, any other thoughts on that?
I think your mind and your body are so connected. And when you keep those, you can keep those two things in balance, like it has an exponential positive impact. I did a blood panel, an independent blood panel, just to see where all my levels were. And while I'm a pretty positive guy, like very forward thinking and driven, after having surgery in October, my physical health has declined, which has affected everything in my entire life, which is like, I couldn't work out and lift weights, so my confidence is affected. My energy levels are affected. The way I show up daily for my team and for my family is affected because I had a setback on the physical side. Even though on the mental side, by and large, I'm 99% like driven, all in, forward thinking, mostly positive, but the physical connection to the overall wellness is low. Like I had some results that were not favorable from where my blood panel should be. And now I have to create balance in my holistic health outside of just, mentally doing all the practices that make us successful, get our mindset right. I've got to get the physical side to catch up now so my performance is better. How about you, James?
I've noticed that it can be negatively compounding and positively compounding. When I think back to the times I struggled the most mentally with maybe like a business challenge, what I do, and I'm like being fully open here, is in the past, I have gotten into the rut of, okay, I have a lot of volume of work on my plate. Let me get up early instead of work out. Let me dive into the work. Okay, I'll work out later in the day. Okay, something comes up. You didn't work out. And then I get into this cycle where I'm not really taking best care of my body, which then translates to my mind. And I find at the end of like 4 days of that, I am just super beyond frustrated. I'm like, why? And each time it's like I'm surprised. Why? But I look back, I haven't delivered on my consistency with fitness. You don't have to go out. Like, I don't think I have to go out and run a marathon every day. But if you can get 20 minutes on the Stairmaster versus 0, gonna feel better physically. I'm gonna feel better mentally. And so I've noticed before where I start to cut that out to save time or focus on something else. And it definitely catches up to me every single time. So, on the contrary, when you make it part of your routine, this is why I believe personally for me, getting up early is the secret, then it allows me to get that in before anyone else can get access to my day. And then I'm already on the right track with like a little win to start the day. And then that translates into decisions that I can make in my life and in my business to get the best results. So it works in both directions. Know that there's like a neutral ground for me, but curious what everybody else thinks for them.
I think for most of my career in the Navy, I did not prioritize health at all. I didn't enjoy working out, or I told myself I didn't. And it wasn't really until I met Green Squad that you all kind of motivated me to do this. Despite the fact that my wife is a marathon runner and, works out regularly, I always just said I didn't have time, just like James was saying. And you all motivated me. And so now for the past 3 years, it's been a regular part of my life. And when I do miss it, James, I can totally relate. When I miss it, it messes up my day. Last weekend, I missed 2 days in a row and wound up having a super negative interaction with one of my kids. And while it's not an excuse, I absolutely can trace this all back to, man, I did not take care of myself. I wasn't in a good spot mentally. And just having that time to myself to work through thoughts, work through plans, and, like James said, start the day with a win, often the best part of my day. So I wish I'd figured it out a lot earlier, like you guys all probably did.
I find myself solving mental problems while I'm working out. So issues that have been in my mind that I haven't quite figured out how to solve them yet. Magically, when I'm on a 3 mile run, midway through the run, all of a sudden there's my answer that I've been looking for. So it just seems like what you're putting in, the work, the physical stuff is what you're going to get out.
Yeah, Brandon, you mentioned earlier about the mind and body connection. Post cancer, especially with colon cancer, you realize that gut health and brain health is connected. And so that definitely reminded me of how important eating correctly, keeping those things in moderation. If you choose to drink, like whatever, that your things are moving through the closed system properly. I don't solve problems. I don't get the answer to the problem like you do, Marty. I think that working out and keeping a healthy lifestyle, pushing your body, it frees your headspace up for me so I can think about things later on, because I don't want to think about anything when I'm working out. I want to be totally focused on having an empty mind and being completely present in the workout, whether it's surfing, whether it's jiu-jitsu, whether it's the gym, of just being 100% there and allowing, like, feeling the muscles, feeling the motions, feeling all of that stuff going on, and helping me be focused. And then that translates into other clarity later on.
That idea of being present, being in the moment with your workouts, it reminds me of last year I was having life stressor with just some renovations going on at my house, my primary residence. And I was having a tough time kind of shaking it. I couldn't focus. I couldn't think about work. And I realized that for the preceding 3 months prior to that, right, I hadn't been doing my mindfulness practice, something that I had done for a couple years every morning, 10 minutes a morning. And I just stopped doing it because for whatever reason, I thought, well, I have less responsibilities in this new role and I'm going to kind of see if I can get away with not doing this. Right. And so I realized, man, I need to start doing that again. And when I started the mindfulness practice again, it just helps. It just helped me. It cleared my mind and it enabled me to accept some of these stressors for what they were, but then to kind of let them go and get on with what I needed to get on with.
I remember that. I remember when that was all happening. It's crazy to think that was a year ago, but it's so interesting because I can think back and realize, like, to make it sound selfish for a second, like I was in a good mode of business growth. And I remember how much you were struggling with that. And it's so interesting to be like, Brandon, that shouldn't be as big of a deal to you, as I know you are mentally strong. Right. And now we talked before this on our own private call about like how I'm struggling with something super silly. It's probably the exact same. It's interesting to see how the roles are reversed, but if you don't stay on top of it and like take care of your mind, take care of your body, for me, it catches up so fast. I feel like that's what's happening the last few weeks for me. It is catching up a little bit. Need to prioritize a little bit more.
It's so critical what you feed yourself too. I think, like, not just like mentally, because your subconscious will take over and tell yourself certain things. That's why, all these different sayings exist. Like, your net worth is your network. You're going to be the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. And there is some like data and science behind a lot of that, which is are you surrounded by fixed mindset people? Are you surrounded by growth mindset people? Your subconscious will wire that into your brain. And then obviously what you feed your body has an effect on everything, you're a system, how your whole system operates in an effective way. And then what I really love though is the commonality in our group with a military background is we've all had to do physically hard things at one point or another in our careers that I would say are above kind of the standard person. And that has created a level of perspective and resilience that most people just don't get. They don't have any experience to pull back on and say, yeah, this is hard, but I remember this other hard thing in the way it's wired in my brain, and this ain't that hard. So it just creates a level of, your capacity is increased. Your ability to push through something even mentally hard is better because you've done something physically hard in your life and overcame it. It's all so interconnected. And I think I'm always the happiest. Like, I am the happiest when I accomplish something that's really hard. Especially when you get on the other side of it, like, you feel so accomplished. You're literally happy about it. That's why the runner's high exists, because there's a physiological effect that grabs your brain and releases all these endorphins, and then the feeling of accomplishment and the dopamine you get from it just makes your life genuinely better.
Yeah, resiliency is a muscle, right? So you got to build it just like you build anything else. So, that run gets hard. Well, then guess what? That makes the mental challenge that you're dealing with tomorrow easier because you're used to being pushing through hard things, and that what's on the other side of it. And so you're building that each time that you're doing something physical, each time you're doing something hard, running, lifting, whatever. It's all, like you said, interconnected.
I think it's important to remember too, it's the small and simple things, right? Nobody gets to go to the gym once and then look in the mirror and be like, yes, I see the results. You have to go. The reason I'm able to go and at 49 and beat people half my age in PFT, CFT scores in the Marine Corps, and then just showing up and doing things is because what I was doing when I started weights in 13 and learn about, CrossFit and Olympic lifting and band work and kettlebells and all these things that I have just done 20, 30 years ago allows me to show up now and be like, oh, let's just go do this. And the comfort and power that brings for me personally, that the activities that I have in my life of eating well, exercising makes me, I'm not going to show up and like, I'm going to dominate you, but I'm going to be competitive. I'm going to have fun, and I'm going to be less prone to injury doing it as I move forward in my life. And for me, trying to be an example for my kids, I think that is super important. And then too, like we had the engineer games yesterday, and it was unfortunate, but everybody's in boots and utes. And there was this young lieutenant that had 2 loaves of bread sticking out the side of his camis. And you're like, dude, how in the freak is that even possible? Right. And the subconscious action that has to that lance corporal, like, well, shoot, I can get a loaf of bread on my side too. And that's totally all right.
Travis, can you explain what you're saying for our listeners? There's a lot of military slang going on here.
What does that mean for non-Marines?
Well, you take a loaf of bread and you like look at it and you stick it on your side, and that's the size of the love handle that was sticking out each side of that guy's shirt.
You're saying he's fat, and when you say Lance Corporal, you're talking about kind of a subordinate employee that is looking to this guy who's in a leadership position, who's supposed to be setting the highest standard and example for physical and mental fitness and toughness.
Yes. And to say that doesn't have a subconscious impact on subordinate individuals when a leader looks like that, I think that is, to say that it doesn't happen is wrong, in my opinion. There is an absolute subconscious thing that says, oh, that guy looks like crap, I'm allowed to look like crap.
For the record.
And I think that you have to put your best foot forward, not only for yourself, like Brandon was talking about, but for everybody you work with, horizontally, vertically. That's real.
Yeah. For the record, for the listeners, if you jump over and watch this on YouTube, you'll see that while Travis is the oldest of all of us, he looks like 5 years to 10 years younger than all of us. So Travis walks the talk.
Yeah, Travis could have done this episode unilaterally because he's aging like Benjamin Button over there.
Beat me to it. I was about to say Benjamin.
All the health tips over from Travis. So
find cold water and get in it often.
Travis, what is your secret to aging so well? We all must know.
Early morning surf.
I knew it.
I guarantee. Early morning surf. You find cold water, even if you get a bowl of water and stick your face in it. Early morning surf, either jiu-jitsu at lunch or a good solid gym workout. I don't drink. I don't smoke. And I know that's complete dichotomy to being a chief warrant officer in the Marine Corps. I don't even drink coffee. But yeah. And then 100% mindset, what Brandon was saying. Workout. I work out 2 to 3 times a day, 6 days a week. Fortunate that I'm able to do it. Super blessed. Every day I'm grateful to do it.
And our next episode will be on time management, because I would love to work out 3 times a day. There's nowhere on my schedule for that.
I think that's a good point to conclude this episode. So as you heard from each of us, it is important. You should make time for it. Nobody is perfect. We are not perfect. A little bit of something is better than nothing. Don't let perfect be the enemy of good with your health, your mind, keeping your body and your mind both healthy. So thanks for tuning in to another episode. If you would, leave us a 5-star review. If you didn't think it was 5 stars, reach out to one of us so we can improve and deliver the content you guys want to hear from entrepreneurs. Thanks for listening. See y'all next time.